Soul Streaming Entry 6, Nurtured by Nature, a living, breathing audio and written experience by Sim. As I sit here, being in front of this view for hours, journaling and observing other guests come and go feels unreal, like something I once saw only in my mind while doing my visualization meditations. And now, here I am, living inside the vision feels even better than I imagined. The different viewpoints from this space is what is grounding me right now, no matter what I'm feeling, facing, or adjusting to. I just celebrated my 38th birthday and just relocated to a new Airbnb. Of course, it's different. It's in a whole other part of the island, tucked inside a resort. The vibe, the energy, the rhythm, everything's new. But this is what I asked for. This is what I meant when I said I wanted to start over, and not because I had to, but because I wanted to. That was the mission, the assignment. I wanted to literally embody flow, and moving from one side of the island to another ensures that. Every time I move to a new place, I feel my nervous system wanting to cling to the old views, the familiar sounds, the little routines I cultivated. But I've learned to soothe myself through it over and over again, to breathe through the discomfort of change, to detach from what I was used to in the most gentlest way. This is the art of letting go gracefully. And honestly, I'm grateful that I've become more at peace with this process. Child, this shit used to be a struggle for me when I first began moving from state to state. But I see very clearly how those moves prepared me for my gypsy tour of soul-led stops and living from what brings my heart happiness. And right now, that is leaving a newly developed comfort zone that I knew would be temporary to honor the expansion and adventure my heart is calling for. What's helped me the most through every transition has been nature. I owe so much of my healing and growth to nature, which still surprises me sometimes. I used to be that Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 kind of person. I'd come home drained, spend my weekends inside, and repeat the cycle all over again come Monday morning. I was so used to that cycle, I couldn't see how my life force energy was draining. That's the thing about toxic cycles. They creep up on you and even have you convincing yourself that you actually enjoy living life this way. One day, something in me shifted, and I was no longer okay with this routine, and it started small. I began taking walks around the neighborhood in a nearby park. I told myself it was to get more active, but looking back, I was unknowingly reconnecting to something sacred. That's where it began. Me learning to breathe again, to listen, to be, to recharge. I used to overlook nature. I thought it was just there. But the more I sit with it, the more it reveals so much to me. Nature has become one of my greatest teachers, showing me what it truly means to be happy, to be deserving, to just be. Over time, nature became my sanctuary, my therapist, my reminder that I am a part of something bigger, something wise, patient, and alive. It was teaching me how to find my power again and how to appreciate all walks of life and energy, regardless of the structure or size. Everything and anything in nature is deserving of being there, and the same goes for us living our lives out on earth. No life is more important than the next. Instead, we should work collectively together to find our way through the game of life. When nature speaks and presents itself, I don't care if it's just a fucking leaf. Shit, I'll study it like it's a scripture. I watch, I observe, I sit with it, I speak to it, I heal with it, I listen intently. And every time I do, I come out more centered, more grounded, wiser, softer, forgiven, recharged. And the energy it carries is always high vibrational. You ever had an emotional day and went into nature and come out the same way you entered? I know I have not. If you don't believe me, try it. The next time you feel yourself having one of those heavy days, find a nice park, trail, or even a neighborhood, and take a nice stroll through it. You can speak aloud or internally about what is troubling you and see how differently you feel once your walk and talk ends. I love to write out my emotions, desires, and struggles on paper and place them somewhere in the park that calls to me and gains my attention. You could try releasing it to water, placing it inside of a tree trunk, burying it into the soil of your favorite plant. The possibilities are endless, but the effects are long term and magical. Watch how nature holds space for you and soak up the low vibrational energy you offer up. People will often look at me like I was crazy for sitting outside as long as I would, just to feel the breeze, watch the birds fly, and observe the insects in their habitat, even though they often bite my ass up. But the truth is, I was learning how nature communicated with me. I remember one time in particular when I was speaking aloud to nature about some energy I was transmuting, not giving a fuck if I look crazy for talking out loud. And when I asked a specific question, I got the biggest gust of wind I ever felt before. I pay attention to all of my senses, how the sounds around me chime in at the right time, how the wind hugs me, how the rain or storm comes through a time of renewal to wash away the old energy I no longer need, and even the type and color of birds circling me during certain chats with my spirit team. Of course, I haven't mastered this communication entirely, but I've made tremendous progress. I love taking it all in because it's such a safe place for me to connect with the ancestors of nature and to learn an ancient language that goes beyond the human one. While strengthening my relationship with nature, there are always light codes being activated within me. I received a download on how I can be paid to exist. I was still working the traditional 9 to 5 job at the time, so this download didn't fully register yet. I was heavily healing being in survival mode, but nature is so divinely wise that I could not see that they were foreshadowing the path I was set out on some short years later after leaving that same job. People overlook the power, wisdom, and healing abilities that nature holds, but nature is the blueprint. And let me put you on to what I've learned to be true for me and maybe even you. Think about trees. They don't beg, they don't rush, they just are. There are endless kinds, shapes, heights, and colors, but they all share one truth. They stay rooted. They change with the seasons, but they remain grounded. They don't chase admiration, but they still attract it. People stop to take pictures, to touch them, to breathe under their shade, but whether admired or ignored, the tree continues to do what it's meant to do, which is to grow, release, and renew. On the East Coast, during the seasonal changes, no one can stop fall from coming. The leaves will change colors and eventually fall, no matter how much you want them to stay, because that's what's needed. That's what nature knows to do. Think about the clouds. Each one is unique and constantly shifting shape, even when they appear still. They're always morphing, becoming something new with every breath of wind. They remind me that the lighter my energy feels, the easier it becomes for me to shift, to evolve, to transform into whatever form my soul and vessel desires. The mountains, though, they stand in complete contrast. They are solid, unbothered, unmoved by rain, snow, or sunshine. They remind me that I am already on top, not in comparison to anyone else, but because I am firmly rooted in my own being. I don't need to compete, prove, or climb toward what I already am. The birds are the definition of freedom: fluid, graceful, unbound by borders. They remind me of how limitless I truly am and can go wherever I choose, and that adopting a bird's eye view often brings the perspective I need to see life's bigger picture. The rain and the ocean are emotional keepers of this world. They teach me about release, renewal, and connection. Every drop of water is unique, and yet when joined with the rest, it becomes something vast and powerful, a reflection of the collective, of unity, of how we're all one current moving together. The plants. The plants show me what it means to thrive in alignment. They bloom naturally in environments that honor their essence, just like me. I didn't fully or truly flourish in the States the way I thought I was intended to. Living abroad has illuminated my spirit in ways I never expected. I'm growing in soil that finally feels like I can embody the feeling of home no matter where the path takes me. And the insects remind me that size does not equal significance. No matter how small you may seem in the world, your purpose is mighty. Every movement, every contribution, every presence plays a role in the balance of life. They are all paid for existing in energy, in admiration, in contribution, without doing anything outside their natural design. Shifted everything for me. On my personal quest to be paid to exist, nature reminded me that it's both everything and nothing all at once. Being paid to exist isn't about laziness or avoiding contribution. It's about embodying such an authentic flow that your mere presence becomes a form of service. It's knowing that when you move in harmony with your natural rhythm, life mirrors that energy back to you in abundance, never depletion. Trees don't hustle. The clouds don't rush. The mountains don't question their worth. The ocean doesn't second guess its waves. They simply are, and in being, they provide and are provided for, and they never doubt, fear, or conform to anything other than what they incarnated as. These mirror reflections back to me from nature teaches me to honor my own seasons, to do what I came here to do, live a full, authentic, and happy life being me, to grow, release, and renew, even when others don't understand. I'm on my own journey of choosing myself, of loving myself, of setting boundaries that honor my energy, of living a life that prioritizes my spiritual gifts and my spiritual currency. That's how I magnetize what's meant for me. That's how I co create with spirit to live the life that speaks to my soul. And I don't give a fuck if it looks nothing like what I was taught or what my generation was conditioned to believe. Because this peace, this view, this connection to nature is wealth. It's what I view as true luxury that can multiply for generations to come if healing is normalized beyond me. My legacy thread. Nature doesn't ask permission to evolve, it just does. And in that silent surrender, there's wisdom. Every leaf that falls teaches me to release. Every wave that returns to shore reminds me that I can always begin again. I am learning to live like the trees by being rooted in my truth, bending with the wind, still standing after the storm. There's a whisper for you. You are not lost. You're simply entering a new season of growth. Let nature hold you the way it holds the earth, effortlessly, endlessly, unconditionally. You walk this path. Remember, transmuting your spiritual, physical, and emotional bodies into power is the sacred gift that nature delivers with your name on it. But this energy exchange is meant to be mutual. Honor the source that nourishes you. Leave nature as you found it or better. Don't litter. Give thanks instead. Offer food or kindness to the beings that share this earth with you. Always thank nature for its services. Whether you feel the shift instantly or later, you will feel it. That's a promise written in the wind. Here are your journal prompts for reflection. Answer them honestly. Number 1, what changes are already in motion that your soul is ready for, but your mind is still trying to control? Number 2, what lessons from nature are you being invited to embody right now? Number 3, what does being paid to exist mean to you? Number 4, what is your favorite thing to observe in nature? Number 5, how can you create more space to listen, really listen, to the whispers of nature around you? Number 6, if you could give nature a secret to hold and possibly transmute for you, what would it be? Thank you for witnessing this soul stream. Replay it or reread it whenever you need to come home to yourself. Until next time, stay soft, stay true, and keep streaming your soul your way. Love, Sim.